The moment I saw my husband sign his name under a lie we built together, I knew my marriage wasn't ending. It was being stolen. I didn't scream. I didn't confront him. I watched quietly. Because betrayal doesn't deserve noise. It deserves precision. My name is Lauren Hale, and for 11 years, I believed my husband and I were unbreakable. We lived in suburban Illinois, a clean house, trimmed lawn, 2 paid-off cars, and a consulting firm we built together from our dining table. People called us solid. Friends asked us for advice. Investors trusted us because we trusted each other. I handled operations and compliance. He handled clients and growth. On paper we were equal partners, in business and in marriage. But something shifted. He stopped asking for my opinion. Stopped forwarding emails. Stopped bringing contracts home. He smiled less. Text more. At night, he'd turn his phone face down like it was a reflex. When I asked about new revenue streams, he'd say, "It's complicated. I've got it handled." That sentence haunted me. I wasn't paranoid. I was trained to notice patterns. And the pattern was clear. I was being excluded from my own life. The worst part wasn't suspicion. It was the respect quietly disappearing. I remember sitting at the kitchen island one night, staring at our wedding photo on the fridge, thinking, if something is wrong, why does it feel so intentional? That's when I stopped asking questions. And started observing. The discovery didn't come with drama. It came with a bank notification. A 6-figure transfer, routed from our joint business account into a newly created LLC I'd never heard of. Same bank. Same address. Different owner. Him. I logged into the corporate registry. His name was there, listed as sole managing member. The filing date was 3 months earlier. 3 months of secrets. My hands didn't shake. My chest didn't tighten. I felt cold. Then I saw her. Not in bed. Not in a hotel. Worse. She was in our office. I recognized her immediately. Megan, a marketing consultant he'd mentioned casually over dinner. She stood too close. Her hand brushed his arm like it belonged there. They laughed quietly. The kind of laughter that assumes privacy. I stayed invisible. I watched my husband introduce her to a client. As his partner. Not his wife. Not his equal. His replacement. That's when the humiliation hit. I had built half of everything he was stealing. The systems, the contracts, the client retention strategies. And he was slowly transferring them into a future where I didn't exist. Later that night, I found the emails. Encrypted threads. Shared calendars. Legal drafts. They weren't just having an affair. They were dissolving me. I sat on the bathroom floor, staring at the tiles, realizing something terrifying. He hadn't fallen out of love. He had planned my erasure. I didn't cry for days. I functioned. Cooked. I worked. Smiled. Inside, something hardened. I replayed every conversation from the last year. Every dismissal, every delay, every time he told me I was overthinking. It wasn't neglect. It was a strategy. Megan wasn't the problem. She was the accomplice. The real villain was the man who knew my strengths and used them against me. One night as he slept beside me, the phone glowing on the nightstand with a message preview from her, once the buyout clears, I made a decision. I wouldn't confront him. I wouldn't beg. I wouldn't expose the affair. Because humiliation fades. But legal consequences last. That night, I contacted a corporate attorney. Then a forensic accountant. Then I started documenting everything. Every transfer. Every email. Every signature. If he wanted to erase me, I'd let the law remember. Revenge doesn't have to be loud. It has to be accurate. Over the next 6 weeks, I became invisible again, but this time by choice. I let him believe I was distracted. Emotional. Weak. Meanwhile, my legal team uncovered everything. He had violated our operating agreement. Misused marital funds. Misrepresented ownership to investors. And Megan? She wasn't a consultant. She was an employee, illegally promoted without board consent. The plan was simple. File a civil suit for breach of fiduciary duty. Freeze all accounts linked to the LLC. Notify investors of misrepresentation. Trigger a mandatory forensic audit. No yelling. No exposure posts. No scandal. Just paperwork. The day I served him, he laughed. "You don't understand how business works," he said calmly. I smiled for the first time in months. "I wrote the compliance section," I replied. That's when his face changed. The collapse was surgical. Within 30 days, the accounts were frozen. Clients fled. Investors demanded answers. Megan disappeared. The court ruled swiftly. The LLC was dissolved. Assets were returned. Penalties were issued. And because the funds were marital property, I received controlling interest. Not revenge. Correction. He tried to apologize once. Said it was never meant to go this far. But betrayal always goes exactly as far as it's allowed to. I didn't reconcile. I didn't negotiate. I finalized the divorce. Took my name off everything we built together, except the victory. Today, I run the firm alone. Different city. Different life. Sometimes people ask if I regret not confronting him emotionally. I don't. Because the most painful consequence isn't anger. It's irrelevant. And the last day he lost power over me was the day I stopped loving him and started respecting myself.
If this story made you feel something, pain, anger, clarity, or strength, you're not alone. Stories like this are why Betrayal Nation exists. Please like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and write a comment below. We read every single one, and your voice matters here. Your support truly helps this channel grow, so if you haven't already, subscribe and help us reach 1,000 subscribers. Together, we're building a place where real stories are heard, truth is exposed, and justice finds its voice. This is Betrayal Nation. Thank you for being part of it.